So let's do a quick word association exercise. I'm going to mention a person, and I want to hear the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that person's name. I'm just looking for a word or a phrase. So I'll call on you one at a time. I'm going to start with President Biden. Looking for the first word or phrase that comes to mind when you hear President Biden. Everybody got one? Don't overthink it. All right. Michelle.
Useless.
Rochelle.
Too old.
Nicole.
Incompetent.
Isaiah.
Senile.
Maritza.
Ancient.
Ruben.
Old.
Got it. Thank you. Excuse me 1 second. My apologies. I was just giving some direction. Next, former President Trump. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of him? Everybody have one in mind? Word, phrase? Okay. Ruben.
Angry person.
Rochelle.
Rude.
Nicole.
Poor leadership.
Michelle.
Ridiculous.
Maritza.
Arrogant.
Isaiah.
Questionable.
Okay. So let's go back to President Biden for a second. What, if anything, do you folks like about him? Anybody have anything that they like about him? Raise your finger if there's something you like about him that you want to share. Michelle?
He doesn't seem as harsh
As harsh as what?
as the former President Trump.
Okay. What else? What else do you like about him? Ruben?
It's pretty good with news people.
He's good with news people.
Treats them fair.
Okay. What else? The other four of you have nothing you like about President Biden.
I guess I could just say he's more likable, kind, more of a people person. I don't know.
Okay. Anybody else? Isaiah?
There we go. Now it's working. Yeah, kind of like an amalgamation of the first two people. I think that he's better in the public eye and he's not so incendiary. I don't think that's necessarily the driving force behind why his name is in the news. So that's nice. It's not well, I was about to say not so divisive, but there are certainly aspects of it that pin others against each other. So maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but it just doesn't feel like there's a attempt on his end to, I don't know, get people frustrated to attack, things like that.
Got it. Thank you. Let's go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you like about him? Nicole.
He had good policies. I didn't like him at all as a leader, but his behavior, but his policies I agreed with.
Like what policies?
He's, for example, pro-life. He did a lot more for education. So policy-wise, like on paper, I thought that there was a lot of good things that happened while he was as president, but his behavior doesn't excuse any of that.
Okay. Anybody else like anything else about Trump? Michelle?
If I was forced to say something nice about him, I would have to say at least he took action.
Okay.
May not be favorable action, but at least he took action.
Compared to?
It just feels like Biden's not doing much.
Okay. Got it. Anything else? All right. So let's go back to President Biden. What, if anything, do you dislike about him? Nicole, you smile. Go ahead.
Oh, well, you're asking for one thing, so I'll try to keep it brief. But
No, give me a few things if you have them. Just tell me quickly, though.
I don't agree with any of his policies. He does not sound eloquent at all when he speaks. He's not a good leader. He seems like a puppet. He's just a horrible president, in my opinion.
Okay. Maritza?
He's more focused on foreign problems rather than the problems that us as a nation need resolved. He's just more worried about overseas things.
Okay. Anything else you don't like about Biden? Michelle?
I mean, in particular for me, I was really peeved that, he talked about the whole student loan forgiveness, and here we are years later, and it, of course, did not happen.
Okay, great. Got it. Let's go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you dislike about him? Rochelle, what do you dislike about Trump?
What I disliked is that he just seemed like he was always causing problems within the people. Very controversial, what he would say, and then it would almost ignite and divide people every which way. Racism, like social class, your like queer community, all that stuff. So it would just seem like there was always drama, like bad violence going on when he was president.
Got it. Isaiah, anything you don't like about Trump?
Yeah, I think that the previous person summed it up pretty well. While his stance or the way that he portrayed himself to the nation and to the other nations that are our peers and even our enemies, it seems as though he wasn't such a I don't know, such a weak viewed person. At the end of the day, it did seem like the controversies that followed him outweighed any good that his image carried.
Got it. Okay, great. Anything that someone didn't mention about what they dislike about Trump? Something different?
I think it was always trying to make it everything about himself.
Got it. By a show of fingers, who would say that on most days you pay attention to the 2024 presidential campaign? Two of you, Isaiah and Nicole. Okay. So it looks like Biden's running against Trump again in November's election. For this next question, assume those are your only two choices for president, or you could choose not to vote. For a moment, let's imagine the election is tomorrow. By a show of fingers, if these were your only two choices for president, who would not vote? Rochelle, are you definitely not voting? Or you maybe not voting? Maybe not voting.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, got it. Rochelle, what's the likelihood that you're not voting? 20%, 50%, 80%? Where are you?
Like 60.
Okay, great. All right, so Rochelle and Nicole not vote. Rochelle, why would you not vote with those two choices?
Yeah, just I feel like at that point, it's just like they both had their time. I'm like, I guess just let it be. I don't even know. I'm like, I just like so tired of either one that I'm just like, at this point, it just, whatever it's going to happen is going to happen. And my vote is just my one vote. And I'm not even like enthusiastic about one or the other. So I just yeah.
Okay. Nicole, why would you not vote if it's just those two?
I mean, I definitely would not be voting for Biden. He doesn't match up with any of my beliefs. But for Trump, I had a really hard time voting for him the last time he ran, when he ended up winning. And the reason I voted for him was he lined up with a lot of our beliefs and morals and values as a family. And I felt like he was getting more polished in his speaking and was hopeful that he would become a good leader. And then as a president, I was ashamed that I had voted for him. And he's a reckless leader that just should never be in leadership. So there's no way I can vote for him again.
Got it. Okay. For the two of you, Rochelle and Nicole, does sitting it out and not voting help one candidate over the other? Is that part of your thought process at all?
Probably.
Rochelle?
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say probably, yeah. And that's my that's why I can't be definitive. Like, yes, I'm not gonna vote yes, because it's just like I was the person before, like, yes, every vote counts, blah blah blah. Like, I'm proud to be a voter. But it's just like, I don't know, you just get so tired.
Okay.
So
which candidate benefits if you don't vote?
I honestly feel like Trump will benefit if I don't vote, because I don't think I could vote for him. I just, no.
Okay. How does Trump benefit if you can't vote for him?
Well, especially in Arizona, even though we are a blue state now, I just feel like there's still lots of groups around, and you can see all the flags and hateful things, all this stuff. I just feel like it's almost like you literally had to, it was like very, very close where Biden needed the votes. So.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm confused. How does Trump benefit if you don't vote?
So then Arizona, like, so if for Arizona, he would get the votes because we're in Arizona. So he would benefit.
I'm sorry if I'm confused. You don't vote. How does Trump benefit by your single not voting? How does your not voting help him?
Maybe I'm still confused too, because I'm saying my vote will help the votes for Arizona.
You said
and Arizona.
I'm sorry, Rochelle. If you don't vote, why does one candidate benefit over the other by your not voting?
Okay, I'm not going to change my answer, because I'm saying that for Arizona, he could possibly get our votes. Trump.
Okay. But if you don't vote, how does that? If someone forced you to vote for one of those two men, said you absolutely have to vote, who would you vote for?
Biden.
That's why Trump would benefit if you don't vote.
Right.
That's one less vote for Biden, which is good for Trump.
Right.
Now, are we in the same? Did I hit the nail on the head?
Yes, you're right. But I think I was thinking further. Like, I was thinking about the whole Arizona situation. I don't know. Do you understand or no?
Yeah, but I was looking at this.
Okay, sorry, I probably went too deep.
No worries. You're totally great. I'm trying to understand about the action of your single not voting. Okay. Who would benefit? Nicole, same question for you. If you don't vote, who benefits?
That's a great question. I don't know, because I think when I originally voted for Trump back when he was when he first got elected, that was my mindset was, we so badly don't want the other candidate. But again, I saw what that produced. And so right now, if I'm looking at just Biden and Trump, it's a lose-lose. So I can't even really think like who. I can't vote for either one of them. So for sure, it's a no for me voting, at least for president. I'll be voting in all the other areas, but I don't really know. I lose. That's so.
Okay, got it. But Nicole, you're familiar. I think Rochelle, it sounds like you are that Arizona is a pivotal swing state in this election.
Yep.
The vote matters many more times over than it does, let's say, in Mississippi or Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm fully aware, and that's what that kind of thinking and that kind of pressure is what had me vote for Trump the last time. And again, I regret that I can't. So I don't think that way in this election. I just think, is there a candidate that I could feel comfortable and confident voting for, whether or not their likelihood is to win, whether it's a write-in or I don't vote at all. I can't look at Biden and Trump and go, who do I not want to win? Because I did that before and it was a horrible choice.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you both. I appreciate it. I'm pushing you a little hard. I really want to get your thinking on this. You're very kind to share it with me. By a show of fingers among the six of you, in a head-to-head race between Biden and Trump, who would take Trump? Besides the two of you who already told. Isaiah, you would take Trump? Why would you take Trump?
I would be really curious to see his ability to parlay these conflicts in Ukraine and Israel. I know that initially seemed like he made some serious headway with Putin, even if that maybe was just all for optics. But I think maybe the familiarity and the progress that they had several years ago could lead to some kind of serious developments in the future. And yeah, I think with Israel being the way that it is, that seems, not to use the word too much, but very divisive among our nation. I would want to see someone that maybe has a bit more, is willing to take action, whether fully rescind our support or go all in and have more boots on the ground. I want to see some kind of resolution. I don't want this to be some long drawn out 10-year support campaign or 2-year, 5-year, whatever.
Got it. Thank you. The other three of you would take Biden?
I would.
Maritza and Michelle? Okay. Maritza, why?
I just feel like he's lesser of the two evils between Biden and Trump. I feel like Biden is a little bit more passive versus Trump, which is very aggressive in regards to how divisive he is. You know, he's shown like straight up racism and stuff like that. So, and that's not what we need as a leader. So
Got it.
I feel like at least Biden kind of
Got it.
keeps shut about it.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I mean to rush you along. It's just
Okay.
I apologize. Very crisply, Michelle, why would you take Biden?
We're already stuck with him right now, and I'd rather stay stuck with him than put Trump back in, who I believe is a bully, and I don't feel he represents our nation well. I think he endorses being a bully, and I would do anything to keep that from happening again.
And Ruben, why would you stick with Biden?
Well, with the same reasons they both had, and I'm just afraid what he's gonna do to the country once his term ends.
Okay, thank you. By a show of fingers, who wishes that neither Biden nor Trump were running this year? Show of fingers. Who wishes that neither Biden nor Trump was running? All six of you. So who do you wish were running this year beyond Trump and Biden? Who'd be your ideal candidate? This person has to be at least 35 years old and born in the US. Who's your dream candidate? I see some of you smiling. Come on, I know you're thinking of someone. Michelle, who do you have?
I mean, I don't know if I should insert this, but I'm a Democrat. I would go for a Democrat who can take action, but
No,
with a-
what person? Give me a name.
I don't know.
No, I want
That's-
specific names.
RFK.
I don't want a
Well,
gobbledygook abstract person. I want a live, breathing American. Who do you have? Nicole, who do you have?
I loved Rick Santorum, so I'm still hoping he'll come back one of these days.
Okay, got it. But I just want to make it clear. I'm not limiting it to politicians. Okay, anybody, 35, American and breathing. Who do you want? Come on, you guys don't have any dream as to you'd like someone to run beyond Rick Santorum? Santorum just said DeSantis. I'm sorry.
I would say Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, why?
Um, well, I know he's a Christian. Um, and I don't know, it's just this thing between me and my husband. He's like, he has a shirt that literally says Mark Wahlberg for president. So it's just, I don't know, he's not controversial at all, celebrity wise. He
Got it.
has like a
Who else?
Christian app.
Okay, sorry, Risham. Other people. Who else do you have? That's it. Okay. I'm going to give you a different scenario for president. Cindy's going to put it on the screen. Imagine the election is tomorrow, and it's 5 candidates that you can choose from in Arizona. These 5. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Robert Kennedy Jr., Cornel West, or Jill Stein. Okay? Or you could also not vote. That's your 6th choice. All right, show of fingers. With those 5 choices plus not voting, who would take Biden? Show of fingers in that 5-way race. None of you. How many of you would take Trump in that 5-way race? None of you. How many of you would take RFK Jr.? 4 of you. How many of you would take Cornel West? None of you. Who would take Jill Stein? Michelle and Maritza, 2. Okay, got it. For the 4 of you who would take RFK Jr., Cindy, can you put the screen back? For the, no, I take them off. I'm sorry. Just go back to the, yeah. For the 4 of you who would take RFK Jr., why is he attractive to you?
I recently watched an interview with him about a week ago, and he seemed very, very knowledgeable on our U.S. history, where from the 60s to up until now, I don't know, he was just, it sounded like he was a historian of American policy. And he also seems to toe the line really well between not being too conservative, not being too democratic. He really was kind of, I think, a little bit supportive of Israel. So that would answer the, we're not going to be in the middle, not going to be in the gray. It sounds like he'd be all for conflict and support, whatever that means. So
Isaiah,
while it may not be the greatest,
Isaiah, I'm sorry, I need to cut you.
Yeah.
Quick, just
go
one.
ahead.
For the other 3 of you, why would you take? Why Robert Kennedy Jr.?
So the family history,
Family history, meaning what? Group?
Politicians. I mean, I'm sure he's into politics, policies and all that. So I would just assume, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, say that again. I missed what?
The family history of being in politics, I would assume that he's got, pretty well knowledge.
Okay, got it. What else? The other 2 of you, why would you take RFK Jr.?
Oh, I picked him because I know he would be good for the economy because I know he's involved in stocks and then crypto. And I don't know if he was an environmental or he does something, I don't know, with the environment. So I think he's just hopefully help with the economy and environment.
Got it. So if someone required you to bet $50 on the outcome of the presidential election in November, which candidate would you bet on winning the election? I'm not asking who you want to win. I'm asking, in order to win the bet, who do you think will win? Realistically, will win. Everybody have a name in mind? Who do you think is actually going to win this election? I
hate to say it, but probably Trump.
Hang by a show of fingers. Who thinks Trump is going to win? You have to put a $50 bet on who said Trump is going to win. 5 of you. All 6 of you. Okay. And by a show of fingers, what worries you more? 4 more years of Biden or 4 more years of Trump? By a show of fingers, who would say 4 more years of Biden worries you more? Who would say 4 more years of Trump worries you more? 3-3. Okay, great. All right. So we're going to do a series of word association exercises next. I'm going to mention a person, and I want to hear the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that person's name. I'm looking just for a word or a phrase, no explanation, a word or a phrase. I'm going to call on you one at a time, so don't shout it out. First person, President Biden. Everybody have a word or a phrase, first thing that comes to mind when you hear his name? Okay. Kasaya,
Underwhelming.
Sonia,
Current president.
Kristen,
Sleepy Joe.
Manny,
Old.
Enrique,
Man, he got me. I thought old as well.
Melissa.
Weak.
Okay. Next person, former President Trump. First word that comes to mind when you hear his name. Everybody have one in mind? I've got a word? Okay. Sonia,
Former president.
Kristen,
Inappropriate.
Isaiah,
Con artist.
Manny,
Loud.
Melissa,
Aggressive.
Enrique.
Controversial.
All right. Let's go back to President Biden. What, if anything, do you like about him? If anyone wants to say something, raise a finger. Give me a sense of if you have something. Enrique,
I sense like a friendly grandpa.
okay. Anybody else? Messiah?
I like that he's not Donald Trump.
Okay. Anybody else? Manny,
He's a bit more professional, a little bit more face friendly
then whom?
than say Trump, just since we brought him up.
Okay. Anything else you guys like about Biden? No. Okay. Let's go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you like about him? Melissa?
I like that he's a businessman.
Oh yeah.
Got a good sense of economics.
Okay. Enrique?
That's what I was gonna say. He comes from a business background. He gets things done, opposed to being a professional politician.
Okay. Anything else? The other 4 of you have nothing else, nothing you like about Trump?
I like his economy stances and policies and just tax breaks and everything that he has to do financial wise.
Okay. Sonia?
I like that he wants to put America first.
And Kristen?
I just didn't say, but I agree with Melissa. The one thing that I will give him is that he is a businessman.
Okay, got it. Let's go back to President Biden. What, if anything, do you dislike about him? Enrique?
That he's been in politics his entire adult life and really doesn't have much to show with regards to that. It doesn't really show that he has, I don't know, 40 plus years of experience in politics.
Okay. And Melissa, you had something too?
I just don't like his stance with other countries. He appears very weak, which gives an image that the United States is weak as well.
Okay. Anything else you dislike about Biden?
Just his financial policies. So the complete opposite of what I think of Trump.
Okay. Let's go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you dislike about him? Kristen?
I think that his delivery, again, is inappropriate. I also feel that because he's more worried about being a flash and being a shock person opposed to it hides like his real political views, which actually some of them are great, but the way that he puts them off makes it, again, that shock value belittles it for me.
Okay, got it. Isaiah?
I don't like that he is a liar. He's manipulative, and I just forgot. So,
okay. Sonia?
I think he comes across times very unprofessional. He allows himself to get caught up in the moment and doesn't stay the course and gets distracted and gets pulled into what may be going on and gets in trouble.
Got it. By a show of fingers, who would say that on most days you pay attention to the 2024 presidential campaign? One second. Melissa, you also? Do me a favor, if you raise your finger, keep it up until everybody else is done raising their finger. I got 4 of you. Okay, got it. So it looks like Biden is running against Trump again in November's election. For this next question, assume those are your only 2 choices, or you could choose not to vote. For a moment, let's imagine the election is tomorrow. By a show of fingers, if these were your only 2 choices for president, who would not vote? Sonia and Manny, 2 of you. Sonia, why would you not vote if those are your 2 choices?
I mean, at this point, there's some stuff that I'm still waiting to see what gets resolved, and I don't know. I don't think I can pick between the lesser of the 2 right now.
You just can't pick between those 2.
I could not.
All right. Manny, why would you not vote if given just those 2 choices?
I agree with Sonia. I just don't have enough information. I'm looking forward to the debate that they have coming up in the summer. And I'm a huge advocate for voting because it's a right, and at this point, more of a privilege. But it's one of those where I just can't make a conscious decision without having more information.
Okay, so Manny, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you. Trump was president for 4 years. Biden's been president for 3 years and 4 months. What in heaven's name do you still need to know that you haven't already seen or heard over the last 7 years and 4 months?
What their plan is for the next 4 years.
Okay, got it. You feel at this point, Manny, you have no idea what either of them would do over the next 4 years.
I have somewhat of an idea, just not enough for me to make a conscious decision. And then on top of that, I kind of want to see what they have to say as far as what they've been able to do with their previous 4 years in office and how that'll reflect in the next 4 years.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So for you, Manny, and you, Sonia, I'm just curious, does sitting it out and not voting help one candidate over another? If you don't
Probably.
Vote, it could.
Okay. Sonia, who do you think would benefit more if you don't vote?
I would say probably Donald Trump.
Okay. Why?
Because I think the voters who are going to turn out will stay with Biden.
Okay. So you would, if you were forced to choose, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. If you were basically, if you were forced to choose, you would choose Biden. So if you stay home, that helps Trump. Is that essentially what you're saying, or something different?
No, I guess not. um, I don't know. That's a tricky question. That really is I guess it's a doozy.
Okay. Manny, what about you? Does sitting it out, not voting, help one candidate over another? And if so, which candidate benefits?
I believe so. I think Trump would benefit just because his following is a little bit more aggressive this year coming around. And I believe that's what kind of helped Biden out last year, is that he had a stronger following just because we didn't necessarily know what was coming up. Trump this time, I believe his followers, from what I've seen, have a stronger will to go out and vote, just to kind of make a point.
But hold on a second. I'm a little confused. I'm not asking about his followers. I'm asking specifically about you. If you
Right.
don't vote, that the absence of a vote helps someone. My question is, who is
Correct,
it?
just because I just wouldn't be voting. If I wouldn't vote, I just believe that Trump has a stronger following. So I would most likely at this point lean a little bit more towards Biden if I absolutely had to vote. I just believe that Trump at this point has a stronger following, that if I didn't vote necessarily, if I wasn't forced to vote, he'd probably take it.
Got it. Okay, thank you. I want to circle back to something for the rest of you other than Manny. Because Manny, you made a point I want to ask the other five about. Are any of you excited about the upcoming presidential debates? Any of you describe yourselves as excited about them?
I would say.
Enrique, you are, but the rest of you not. Okay. For any of you, do you think the upcoming debates will be pivotal in your decision? Manny and Kristen also, for two of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So Manny and Sonia also, just one last question about not voting. Have either of you heard at all that Arizona is a pivotal swing state in this election, and that your vote matters many more times there than it would matter if you were in like Mississippi or Massachusetts?
Yes.
That is part of, so you're aware of that. Okay.
Correct.
Does that have any impact on your willingness to vote or likelihood to vote?
Probably.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go out and once I have a little bit more information.
I mean, like Manny mentioned before, it's a privilege to go out and have your voice heard. I just would like to see some more info.
Got it. So by a show of fingers, among the other four of you, in a head-to-head race between Biden and Trump, who would take Trump back? Who would want to have Trump again? Melissa and Enrique.
Rich, I'm not, I would be like on the fence, like I'm in the middle. I'm like, just so you know.
You're on the fence between the two of them.
Yes. When I used to be a very anti-Trump.
Okay, hang on a second. So wait a second, Kristen. So who are you planning to vote for?
I've always gone more towards Democrat. So it would have been Biden, but I haven't seen in these last 4 years, other than the women's rights, which is a strong reason for me. But it still is, as far as economy wise, it still is kind of like in the middle for me. I leaned more towards Biden, so that's why I would be interested in the debate to see what goes on there.
Thank you. You're going to cover a whole, but you've just covered 12 more questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
no, you know, I love it when my responses are ahead of me, but I got to sort of keep these. So hold on a second. So Kristen, so in a Trump to Biden race, you're taking Biden at this point.
Yes, right now today, yes, but it
could change.
It could.
Got it. Let me move on. So
Thank
Melissa,
you.
no problem. I'm going to come back to you because I want to ask you about Biden, but I'm right now I'm on Trump. Melissa, tell me, why would you take Trump?
I just feel like these last well, almost 4 years, our economy has really taken a deep dive. The cost of everything has increased to the point where most people cannot afford to just go to the grocery store like we used to. I mean, it's outrageous. So I feel like those are just small things that were much better when Trump was here.
Got it. Enrique, why would you take Trump?
I mean, just a head-to-head comparison. I mean, we, like you said earlier, we had 4 years of one and the other. We know the results. I mean, Biden has been in politics 40 plus years. What he has to show. Trump, he's better for minorities. He doesn't. I'd like to say what people say matters, but what they do matters most. So yeah, Trump says a bunch of nonsense, but okay, Biden, what does he say? What has he done? I mean, we have Ukraine, we have China trying to do all kinds of stuff. That wasn't the case when Trump was around. So, I mean, he keeps people in line.
Got it.
And economy.
Enrique,
everything.
Got it. Thank you. Okay. By a show of fingers, who would take Biden? Kasaya, two of you.
Yeah.
Kasaya, why would you take Biden?
I would take Biden personally because I am afraid of what another 4 years with Trump would look like. Economics has been brought up a few times, and I don't think he's talked about cutting taxes even more. And when he talks about cutting taxes, it's not necessarily for lower middle class people, it's for upper class people. And there's already a huge disparity between the upper and lower class regarding like the wealth gap. So I don't foresee him doing anything to better my life, to better my family's life. It's mostly because I'm just anti-Trump. I absolutely do not want to see him in that office again. He's very disruptive.
Got it. I'm sorry, I've got all you guys.
Okay.
I must get you done on time, which means if you hear me say I got it, I got to move on. Nothing, please, no, nothing personal for any of you, but I got it and I need to move on. Kristen, why Biden?
So like I said, if it was today, it would be Biden. I want to hear what they have to say in regards to the debate. But again, my biggest thing is definitely women's right. I think he has a stronger stance in what I believe in women's right. That's like a huge issue, especially here in Arizona, that's going on for us. But I agree with.
We're going to covering that later. So it's basically women's rights. Got it. Okay, thank you. Enrique, circling back to you, you said that Trump is better for minorities. Why?
I think didn't he do something with Kim Kardashian about prison reform? I mean, that addressed African Americans and Latinos, people that get incarcerated for bogus stuff, right?
Got it. Thank you. By a show of fingers, who wishes that neither Biden nor Trump were running this year? Wishes that neither who wishes that neither Trump nor Biden were running this year?
Oh yeah, sure.
2 other candidates. Who feels that way? All 6 of you. Okay. So who do you wish was running? Who is not running? Who would be your ideal candidate? Keep in mind, this person has to be at least 35 years old and born in the United States. Who's your dream candidate? You just wish this person were running. Doesn't have to be a politician, could be anybody. 35, born in the US and breathing. Kristen, who do you have?
I would want Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, okay. Enrique.
Why not? Elon Musk.
He wasn't born in the United States.
Oh, he was not, damn it. He's South American or South African. Well, shit. Good question.
Most of you folks have no dream candidate. There's no one that you would say, oh my God, if only this person could run for president or ran for president, I'd be so excited. There's nobody? Messiah.
I have somebody in mind, but I'm just like spacing. I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Pete. I can't even pronounce it.
Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Who else? Manny, who do you have?
I honestly would probably pick Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, okay. Great. Kristen,
I'm gonna add another one, Michelle Obama. That would be my dream person.
Joe Obama, okay. Got it. All right, so I'm gonna give you a different scenario for president. Imagine the election is tomorrow, and it's these 5 people that Cindy's gonna put up on the screen. So you got a choice among Biden, Trump, RFK Jr., Cornel West, and Jill Stein. Imagine it's not a 2-way race. Now it's a 5-way race. Or your 6 choices, you don't vote. Okay. So I'm going to ask you who you would take. So show of fingers. In this 5-way race, who would take Biden? 2. Kristen and Kasaya. How many of you would take Trump in this 5-way race? 1. Enrique. Who would take RFK Jr.? Melissa? Anybody else? 1. Who would take Cornel West? None. Who would take Jill Stein? None of you. 2 of you would not vote?
Correct.
But Manny and Sonia still, even with a 5-way choice, you would not vote.
Not yet. No.
Okay. Melissa, why is RFK Jr. attractive to you as a candidate?
Well, I know that he is one. So for me, it's really just past history, a family history for him, basically what his uncle did for our country. I haven't really looked up his policies, but based on who we have, I would lean towards him with a little bit more research.
Okay. So I want you to imagine someone required you to bet $50 on the outcome of the election. Basically, who you would bet on to actually win the election. No, I'm not asking you who you want to win. I'm asking you, you're putting $50 down on who you think will win in November. By a show of fingers, how many of you think that Trump will win the election in November? Show of fingers. Not whether you want it, you get to put $50 on the outcome. Who would put it on Trump as the actual winner? 4 of you. How many of you would say it's Biden is going to win the election? You put $50 on the outcome of that race. 2 of you. And then what worries you more? 4 more years of Biden or 4 more years of Trump? By a show of fingers, who would say 4 more years of Biden worries you more? Four of you. Who says 4 more years of Trump worries you more?
We vote again, like twice or just one?
No, it's who worries you more?
Okay.
Kristen,
Yeah,
where are you?
I guess Trump would. I'm gonna go. I was trying to think because they're both the same to me, so I'm going with Trump would worry me more.
2 of you more. Okay.